Evening, everybody. Final frontier of our weekend Festival of European Rugby. Last stop, the Stoop, where an unfamiliar Quins side will look to carry the club's Premiership momentum and form into this round of 16. Ulster, an opponent that Quins haven't beaten in 13 long years. Eddie Jones continues on his travels, and here's a look at the sides for you. Quins have decided to rest a host of frontliners. They're captained for only the second time by Tom Lauday. There's some experience in that front row: Garcia Botta, Elia and Collier, and some inexperienced in academy men: Jack Kenningham on the open side and Hammond and Tizard at lock. As regards their back division, Scott Steele is back from Scotland duty. Brett Herron starts at number 10 against his former club as Marcus Smith gets a weekend off. Lasike and Lang offering international quality at centre, and the back three's given something of a makeover as well, but no lack of threat or indeed pace. By contrast, Ulster include most of their big names with the exception of Coetzee and Henderson, both unavailable. Herring's back from the Six Nations. Kieran Treadwell is a former Harlequins man. Geordie Murphy, the skipper this week, and Nick Timoney charged with taking up some of that ball carrying usually associated with Marcel Coetzee at number 8. The backs look settled. John Cooney and Billy Burns now well established at 9 and 10, and the centres, McCluskey and Hume, blending nicely. Jacob Stockdale returns to club colours on the left wing, Robert Balakoon occupying the right, and Michael Lowry moving from fly half to fullback. At first sight, the Quins bench has a green tinge, but Kerrod, Tapuai and Chisholm are not in that bracket. They've all got points to prove, sitting outside the first choice 15 at the moment. Ulster have plenty of know-how as well, with the likes of Andrew and Mathewson and Madigan, of course, as well. So we're good to go. It's a beautiful evening. The pitch is looking in great shape, and Ulster arrive here to break unfamiliar ground. This is their first outing in the Challenge Cup. 25 long years of top-flight European rugby, but now facing a rather different challenge. Their outlook today, I suspect, Rory, shaped by the frustration of having seen the Pro 14 abbreviated in the fashion that it was, leaving no room for the playoffs, the traditional playoffs, and they were left out in the cold despite a pretty decent campaign.
Yeah, Ali, good evening, and it is a fine evening for it. But yeah, Ulster were frustrated. I know Ulster and Connacht were both frustrated. They talked about how they felt they should have been in a playoff. They'd done enough to be in a playoff, but the COVID has thrown up a lot of different things, and unfortunately that wasn't the way it is. And this is a new competition, and I think this is a competition that they feel that they can really express themselves in.
Motivation certainly high for European success from the visitors. Quins just maybe adopting a rather different approach, Danny. They're loading their Easter eggs firmly into the Gallagher Premiership basket tonight, where, of course, they've seen their fortunes transformed over the last few weeks. Fourth in the table, going so well, and primed for assault on that title once Europe is out of the way. But I guess the big question, can this Quins, this group of Quins players, drag that momentum and that form into Europe?
Yeah, good evening, Ali. Yeah, we certainly hope so. Some guys with a point to prove, some guys that haven't played any rugby for a long stretch of time, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how they get on.
Blast on the whistle from Romain Poit, and we're good to go. Ball taken in just inside the 22 by the birthday boy, James Lang, in that outside centre shirt this evening. No Joe Marchant, no Esther Hazen. It is a slightly different feel and look to this Quins team. And Scott Steele enjoyed his time with Scotland in the Six Nations, sends it up. What a good kick that is. Really good chase as well from Northmore.
Quins back.
Not too much that Lowry could have done different there, and they're pinned on their 10-metre line, Ulster. John Cooney, masterful last season in the Champions Cup. Another well-weighted box kick. That's gone forwards from Quins. And we will have the first scrum of the game, so a little bit of caginess, a little bit of territorial kicking in that middle third.
Yeah, I think two teams sounding each other out, both Scott Steele and John Cooney. One currently playing for their international team for Scotland in Scott Steele, and one who probably could be playing for Ireland. So yeah, really interesting battle, I think, head-to-head tonight. And both with two great kicks to get off the camp.
Cooney, ball in hand, on fire in Europe last season. So Brett Heron. Former Harlequins man, making good ground as well, taking play up to that 22-metre line.
Amish, we're outside,
Just seen here, Scott Steele, this guy loves to get his hands on the ruck. He loves to put his head in places which I wouldn't dream of going, and a great turnover and a great attacking position now for Quins on the 22.
Just the kind of thing that you were earmarking at the start of this contest. Forward in a scrum half's body. It's Harlequins firing forwards through Paul Lasike. Going to see a fair bit of that tonight. Certainly if Quins go well, we should. This is Kenningham on the ball. Sets it up nicely. Steele onwards to Lauday. Harlequins playing a real lick in these early exchanges. Romain Poit will brook no contest at the breakdown. He will be smart on anybody infringing. Kenningham again in that first receiver position, wrestling with Reedy. And Heron looking to put a bit of width on it. Tyrone Green held on the 22. Burns to the fore defensively. Lauday making a decent dent. Running into Marty Moore. Once more, it's Kenningham, 21-year-old from the academy, making his European debut tonight. Lasike head down and driving hard. Geordie Murphy does well to bring him to the ground. Good continuity here from Quins. Garcia Botta is the next man up. And here's Nathan Earl, trying to use the footwork to evade those red-shirted defenders. That's a little bit ambitious from Heron. Just a tiny bit too much on it, Danny, but that was promising from a Harlequins perspective.
Yeah, great ball discipline. The forwards getting through a mountain of work there. Tommy Lauday especially with great carries. Paul Lasike, that's what we want to see. We want to see Paul Lasike taking the ball flat to the line and denting this Ulster line. Unfortunately, the ball just goes out of play, out of the grass for Luke Northmore. But good opening stages from Harlequins.
All eyes then beginning to settle on Rob Herring. And the Ulster line out inside their 22. Ireland's first choice hooker at the moment, and the ball secured very effectively by Alan O'Connor. And Ulster go to work, and the maul has been sacked, and the visitors will clear their lines with a degree of comfort.
Yeah, I think the ball is something that Ulster will want to go to a lot. They've used it a lot since Dan McFarlane come in, and it's a great way to exit. A simple ball in the middle, set them all up, and unfortunately Harlequins had to infringe, and that has let Billy Burns get a nice clearing kick away.
Decent nudge from Burns. He's taken it all the way to the 10-metre line. Give us a little flavour of the importance of Alan O'Connor, particularly tonight, Rory, given that Ian Henderson is not available.
I think Alan O'Connor is somebody that's really stepped into that leadership role. He came as somebody that wasn't wanted by the Leinster Academy. He came with a bit of a chip on his shoulder, and he plays that way, and he has been fantastic for Ulster over the last few years, and they'll need him tonight.
Harlequins setting the target just a moment or two ago as Ulster worked that 15-metre channel. Lowry head down, swallowed up in the tackle by Earl. A good carry from Nick Timoney. He's got a big job to do tonight with Marcel Coetzee also out of action as the ball is transferred to McCluskey.
Back, Quint.
Hume tries to pick and go through the middle. Harlequins alive to that threat.
Stay there.
Cooney. Burns floats one over the top out wide, and making some space here for Stockdale. Lowry's there in support up to the 22. Great continuity this from Ulster, driven up by Kieran Treadwell, former Quins man. Burns. O'Connor. Kenningham just having a little sniff there, but having to back away. And McCluskey driving hard into those black shirts. Cooney. Options to the short side. Here's Balakoon ripping infield and driving hard towards the line. He's done really well. And Ulster are knocking hard on the door, and they will batter it down. And the first try is theirs, and the first try belongs to Stuart McCluskey. Ulster taking their one shot and taking it very, very effectively, Rory.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Billy Burns was instrumental in this play. You see just the end there, a pass to Rob Balakoon, who nearly gets away to score himself. And then just that quick ball, I think when your defence is disorganised, it's really difficult. And Stuart McCluskey, just a really good option to John Cooney. But I think if Harlequins are going to let Billy Burns settle in and pull the strings and throw passes the way he's been doing so far, it could be a long evening.
Yeah, great mixture between using the backs and using the forwards there, with McCluskey and Hume, the centres stepping up for big carries, and unfortunately Quins just running out of numbers there, and probably weren't as quick to set on the defensive line as we could. But no, a very well worked try from Ulster.
John Cooney, whose success rate from the tee is exceptional as always, the highest point scorer in the recently concluded Pro 14 season. And Ulster 7 points up after 8 minutes, and burying their opportunity in clinical style. Balakoon has been very, very strong for them in recent weeks. Had nasty hamstring problem, didn't he? Back end of the summer, surgery in August. Come back strong, setting up the field position nicely.
Back, Quins, back, back.
Heron. Reedy.
Inside, tackle, make inside. Away, use it.
Starting to open things up. Kick pass from Billy Burns. Very nearly got a hold of that. Jacob Stockdale just asking a little bit too much of him, but the idea was a nice one.
Yeah, I think he might have been about 3 yards offside when he went to kick the ball there, but it's great to see them trying different things, you know, obviously trying to set up to the box kick, but then this is what Billy Burns has got. He's a bag of tricks, and one shout to John Cooney, the ball comes out and he tries a crossfield kick. Fortunately for Harlequins, didn't work on this occasion. Good opportunity for Quins now to get back in this game.
You are in.
This line-out battle should be a really good one.
Yeah, we are 7.
Quins' best line-out stats in the Gallagher Premiership, and Ulster the best in the Pro 14. It's there for Quins, but they made a bit of a mess of it. And the knock-on then hitting the man in front and the offside line breached.
Why did you jinx them?
No,
sorry about that, Danny. Just trying to give people a little flavour of something to hold on to through the course of this contest. It should be one of those battles that we really enjoy through the course of the night. And of course, Quins with these two youngsters in the second row, Hugh Tizard and George Hammond, who played a lot together, but they are making their way at the age of just 20 and 21.
Red, please.
Big opportunity for them, Danny. I mean, you've spoken about some of these players not having had any rugby. There hasn't been any rugby for them to be involved in. So this is gold dust tonight for those guys, isn't it?
This is huge. Look, to play against a giant like Ulster at home Sunday night, you know, in a huge European Cup game, this is massive for the likes of Hugh Tizard, who looks like a young Sammy Hippier, the ex-Liverpool defender.
Yeah, he does.
And George Hammond. This is amazing to go up against a pack like Ulster. So yeah, they're going to be relishing every second of this.
So Ulster back in
back 10.
the opposition half. All secured by Timoney. Cooney fires it away. Charging upfield to good effect beyond the gain line, beyond the 10-metre line. Here's Murphy. Hair flying. Cooney to Treadwell.
Offside 2.
Into Kenningham. They're playing with a penalty advantage. Quins throwing offside. Bruising run from Moore. Burns. McCluskey did well to hold that initial attempt at the offload. Burns gets it away to Stockdale. Driven back this time, Eric O'Sullivan, but Ulster not going
number 9 and number 10.
upfield in any meaningful fashion. So back for the penalty, very much within the Cooney range, and just building patiently at the moment. Rory?
Yeah, I think this is something you'll see a lot from Ulster. You'll see Jacob Stockdale, Stuart McCluskey, they'll set targets, they'll come really tight round the corner, either pick and goes or little passes off Cooney, and they'll try to reload that blind side again and try to get the likes of Jacob Stockdale, Michael Lowry coming back down that blind side, hopefully against some of the tighter forwards for Harlequins.
Cooney then setting up for the penalty attempt. Last season's European Champions Cup campaign was just stellar for this man. Man of the match in round 1 against Bath, a late penalty to beat Quins in round 3. Man of the match against Quins again in round 4. Trying the quarter-final against Toulouse. He was almost unstoppable at the time. He's had another good season, perhaps not quite hit the same heights. But the quality of the goal kicking does not change. Absolutely instrumental to this team, Rory Best.
Oh, massively. And I think coming to back off lockdown, he probably struggled a little bit for a couple of games, and I think it's probably the standard he set over the last 24 months since signing for Ulster, that 2 or 3 bad games and people questioned him, and it shows the mental character he has to come back, and he is back into form again.
All is lost for a minute there by Treadwell. They have it thanks to Geordie Murphy.
Stay on.
Cooney testing out Tyrone Green, who's playing fullback tonight, commanding in the air on that occasion. He's been on the wing for the most part for Harlequins. That's gone forwards, slightly loose from Elia, asking quite a lot of Jack Kenningham that time. But I know, Danny, you'll be happy to see the way Tyrone Green came tearing in to take that one.
Oh yeah, eyes on the ball. One thing on his mind there was getting up in front of everyone else. This, for any kids at home, that's how you go and get a high ball. And then, yeah, just slightly disappointing, a little bit loose off that, forcing an offload where it probably wasn't on. And just playing into Ulster's hands here, really feeding their game at the moment, which is disappointing for us.
Made a big impact since arriving from South Africa, Tyrone Green. 4 tries in 5 starts. And, of course, a shirt number that is all too topical at the moment.
Mine.
On account of Mike Brown's announcement of his departure. And if Tyrone Green can go well tonight,
Remind the first one.
wearing 15, then who knows what might be possible across the next couple of seasons as Mr. Brown heads north.
Yeah, look, there's some big shoes to fill next season with Brownie leaving to go to Newcastle. And what a legacy he's left in this 15 shirt here at the Stoop. But Tyrone is an incredibly exciting young talent. Him, Lewis Liner as well, another young boy. Aaron Morris as well. We've got some strength in depth there, but they've been learning from, for me, the very best that the Premiership has had. So, yeah, big shoes to fill.
Cooney from the base. Burns running onto the ball, afforded quite a lot of room as they pour forwards here. Stockdale to the boot. Across comes Northmore. And power in the contact as well. Another one who's made big strides this season, Luke Northmore. Tizard sets it up. Steele, Heron, Lang.
Use it!
Kellingham.
Use it!
Northmore setting off in pursuit of this alongside Archie White. Oh, that's just off the fingertips of Burns. Slightly late decision to try and gather that so low down. I guess significantly, really, the important thing there, the hang time that Steele managed to get, Danny.
Yeah, you look for a scrum half box kick now. You're looking around the 4 to 5 seconds for hang time. And these balls, these European balls, do fly a little bit nicer. You can get a little bit more punch on them and hang them up a little bit. And a little bit of a sidewinder there from Scott Steele. Whether he's meant that or not, he'll claim he has, definitely. But yeah, great opportunity now for Quins to try and assert some dominance. I'd like to say I know what's going to happen in this scrum, but I think we should probably pass over to Rory.
Just to make sure a little bit.
I'm not really much wiser, Danny, to be honest. I don't think the ref is either, so we'll see what happens.
Patience before the last one, please.
We're well covered. We have all the bases covered. I tell you what, Scott Steele's probably delighted he's wearing 9 tonight as well, because Scotland had him all over the park, didn't they? They had him on the flank at one point. He played on the wing a good bit. So a lovely little picture that he posted of himself in relation to the Lions needing versatile utility players.
Yeah, he can cover every single position, but yeah, look at him. He's probably 85 kilos, but plays like he's about 120. Loves the physical side of the game. So happy for him to get his shot in a Scotland shirt. And it was only about a year ago that I think he was released by London Irish and struggled for a club, and he's come to Quins, and above all else, he's a brilliant lad. He's fitted in brilliantly and really took at his opportunity.
Fine.
It's a free kick that's gone Ulster's way.
Yes.
And this could be a testing area for Quins tonight. The Ulster pack has gone really well in the set piece domestically.
It's coming in.
And of course, an all-international front row, Eric O'Sullivan earning his Irish debut against the Scots back in December.
Please, Quins. I just told you.
Herring and Moore have been at this game for a long old while now.
Simple and easy. First one was great. Keep work about it.
Hardly surprising. They want some more of it, Rory.
Yeah, you know what the front rows are like. They just can't help themselves. It slows the game down a little bit. But no, it'll be. There's been Ulster by and large at scrum time this season have been good when they've the front line on. When they've had to make changes, they've struggled a little bit. And Dan McFarland has made some big calls, bringing people off reasonably early if the scrum doesn't go well. So I think the guys in there understand their role, and they know how much pressure there is, and they know what Dan expects of them.
They're also going to have to mind their P's and Q's, aren't they, with Romain Poit, because historically he's a bit of a stickler at scrum time, and you have to listen.
Absolutely, and I think it's good. Romain Poit is one that most definitely wants the game to get on, and he'll make a strong decision, and he'll make it early. He'll not let the game disintegrate because of all the scrums.
Important to set that tone early. Not sure that you're painting all the right pictures to the referee, who did his level best to get in the way of John Cooney's pass. Here is Balakoon now. Great work from Lauday. Yeah, he's secured the ball, it's gone forwards.
First, after the good contest, and second.
think that was a strange one from Ramon Poit. I think that to me looked like a stone cold penalty.
It's just the difference there between Ramon Poit saying, you know, you took the ball, but you want a penalty all day long there. You want a penalty so you can get some field position. So yeah, slightly disappointing there. Tommy Lauday, great over the ball, great turnover, but yeah, maybe on another day we might have got a penalty there. Harlequins might have got a penalty there.
Yeah, we got to lose the we. Sorry. Just for today. Be fine tomorrow. Back to the day job.
Crunch. Fine. Set.
Nice straight feed from Scott Steele. And on account of the front rowers heading to ground, Ulster win the penalty. It's Will Collier who's been singled out. First start of the season for Collier. He's had a horrible time with injuries.
3, please be accurate with your binding.
Decent ground gains.
Under the pressure. I thought 2-3
outskirts of the 22.
About this binding, but clearly.
Chance to build again in a meaningful part of the field. Good claim by Timoney. Strong drive from the visitors. Making strides inside the 22. It's with Herring. Cooney eyes up. McCluskey hit early by Lasike. Read that really well. Reedy into Elia. Treadwell. Quinn's holding firm here for the moment. Burns quickly onwards from McCluskey. Lovely offloading from Hume to Lowry. Stockdale sets it up again. Moore. Steady progress. Here's O'Sullivan on the rumble. Burns. Floated away for Balakoon. Plenty to do here. Cover coming across. Lovely footwork. That looked a bit high in the tackle from Steele. And Reedy finds his way into touch, but they'll have the penalty here, Ulster.
Yeah, and it all started from that maul, and I think it is really important for this Ulster team. They don't want the game to get loose. They want to try to grind down this young, inexperienced Harlequins pack, and there's no better way to do it than a good maul.
Yeah, it's hardly a serial offender, you would suspect, Scott Steele, but we know the zero tolerance that all the officials are using over those sorts of tackles now, and this is a wonderful opportunity for Ulster, who are sniffing a second try of the night. Timoney at the heart of things. Herring with one or two options here. Quinn struggling to handle this. Herring crashing forwards and over, and that is try number 2. Once again, very efficient in the red zone, and they're extending their lead through their international hooker.
Yeah, it was a great setup, and they'd showed in the previous maul that they can do, and just looked at Sean Reedy here dropping his height at the corner, just allows that maul to keep going, and there really was a bit of an air of inevitability about it once they got set. Like all good hookers at the back, doing all the hard work.
Well, he's been at the heart of everything good from Ulster and indeed Ireland in recent times. A couple of tries in the defeat to Toulouse back in December, but they're setting a really nice platform here now, Ulster, and significantly seizing their opportunities. (17-0). Ulster lead Harlequins at the Stoop after 23 minutes. And we can have a word now with Nick Evans, who's a part of the coaching staff with Quins. Nick, obviously, you'll be unhappy seeing the scoreboard. How you think your lot are faring? You've got a number of youngsters on display tonight, particularly in the pack.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's a big learning curve for these guys. You know, they haven't played for a while, and it's an opportunity for them to take this opportunity. Obviously, we're our own worst enemy there. You know, 2 scrum opportunities on our ball. You know, I think we want to try and open the game up as much as we can, but not allow Ulster to control it through a set-piece game. So that was our own worst. Our own worst enemy there.
And as regards the specifics inside the 22 as well, we've seen how efficient Ulster have been in their entries. What's the message regarding trying to shut down that threat?
Discipline, mate. Discipline. You know, we've got to make sure that we don't give opportunities to get in there, and the easiest way of doing that is through penalties. So, you know, if we can control that part of the game, then we can control our ball.
Thanks for your time, Nick.
No worries.
Sounds easy, Danny.
Yeah, sounds easy. Yeah, I think we're losing the penalty count 5-1 at the moment. So I think myself and Rory spoke off camera. With Romain Poite, you want to get on his good side early doors, and Quins definitely haven't done that. So, especially a couple of our own Quins line at a scrum ball. So yeah, opposition ball here, Ulster ball, and Quins will need a solid base because we want Will Collier back in Romain Poite's good books.
One red, we work together, okay? Crunch! Bind! Set!
Cooney, Burns, McCluskey, Stockdale opening up on that flank, threads it forwards, good chase on here. Cooney is sizing it up, but Northmore does well again. Full of energy, isn't he, Northmore? He's done a very good job for Quins at the back.
Yeah, Lukey Northmore, great covering that. I really like the simplicity of Ulster's play, though. Just get the ball in the wide channels. Jacob Stockdale's got a brilliant left foot, and then put the pressure back on Quins. And unfortunately, again, another penalty. Great play from Ulster. They're playing rugby in the right part of the pitch at the moment.
Good awareness from Jacob Stockdale. Plenty of space back there. And he did well with the follow-up as well, didn't he? Lauday caught, and as a consequence, Ulster poised 5 metres out.
On the line. Even you,
Quins on red alert. As Alan O'Connor goes up, and here comes the drive. Quins know exactly what's coming. Herring, hungry for work, hungry for tries, but this time it's Sean Reedy. And Ulster have 3. And that driving game from close range is proving very, very hard to stop.
It definitely is. I think Rob Herring will be a little bit gutted that Sean Reedy didn't do what he's supposed to and pass the ball back to him. But I think it just comes from that setup. If you look at the work that Kieran Treadwell and Alan O'Connor are doing at the front of that maul, it stands secure. It gives a rock-solid platform that Ulster can get going on. And unfortunately, again, it just looked from the offset that they were going to go over the line.
Rory, what could Quins do? What could Quins do in this situation? If Ulster do have a bit of dominance there, is there anything they can do technique-wise to stop this?
I think the first thing they're doing is right. They're not going up, they're not competing. They've got to try to break the front of that maul. They can't let Kieran Treadwell get locked into Alan O'Connor and just let Ulster set behind that. They've got to find a way to almost splinter those two, because if you can splinter those two, the maul kind of dissipates a bit. If Ulster are allowed to get a spearhead to that maul, then it is really, really difficult to stop. And when you have a referee that's on you a little bit on penalty count, it's a really difficult position for Harlequins to be in.
Three entries into the Harlequins 22, 3 tries, 24 points. Sort of statistics that will have Dan McFarlane purring. Looking like a long old night for Harlequins at this point. Reedy, the try scorer, accelerates up towards the 22.
Back. Use it! Back in.
Another tester for Green. Yet again, passes that test with flying colours. Here's Archie White to Elia. Quins just needing to settle a little bit and get some time, ball in hand, which they have now. Green does well to cling on to that one from Lang.
Back red.
Tizard driven back in the tackle. Very aggressive defending from Marty Moore and friends. Here's Elia again.
No, we play on.
Trying to work his way round to deliver the ball, but it's been stolen, I think, by Ulster.
Leave it now!
No. Had it for a minute. Still seems to be some debate about exactly who's able to handle that. And Roman finally decides that actually that was Ulster who were messing with it, and Steelers away, passing it on to Kenningham. Heron, Lang, fires into the 22, still going Lang. Strong stuff. Short side, Steele. Oh, and Balakoon in the way, and Nathan Earl could do nothing. And a disappointing end for Quins to what was really much more promising, Danny.
Yeah, great bit of tempo. Scott Steele loves a quick tap, and Harlequins, it's what we love to do, what we're renowned for. So really need to get a bit of tempo into the game. I think unfortunately just passed it into, I think, one of Ulster's men, but we get a line out here on the 5 metre line. But yeah, Scott Steele just trying to be that spark for Quins.
I think it'd be, I'd love to know where Robert Balakoon actually came from. He didn't overly look onside.
Please, Quins!
Il n'y a rien du tout, Romain.
Quins!
Well, there was certainly a pathway
Stay as you are!
blocked as far as that final pass was concerned. Quins now with the line out, 5 metres out. Can they dish out a little bit of Ulster's own medicine? The ball claimed really well, athletically, one-handed. And now they can try to get the drive on through Elia at the tail.
Same on.
Driving hard here. Here's Elia spiralling forwards. Quins desperately needing to convert here. Another penalty advantage. Hammonds.
Please, 6.
And there's going to be a card here
That's
for... Well, it's Geordie Murphy who's being sent to the bin. And
9.
looking
You look
like a
after
case
the
of
ball and the
desperate
play,
times,
not the
calling for
referee.
desperate measures, Rory.
Okay. Please, Captain,
Yeah,
twice
I think
I have to talk
there's
to you
desperation
guys,
and there's
okay?
just a little bit of stupidity, I think.
Time on.
Obviously, Geordie felt that the ball was there to
That's a
go for it,
tackle
but
by 2.
Ramon Flat rightly disagreed.
No.
So with a man advantage, Tizard has set this one up. Quins needing the kind of clinical execution that their opponents have shown so far tonight. Rummaging forwards.
Number 3.
Laude,
Leave it.
he's had to feed it back. Steele, Heron dancing forwards and then tackled well by Reedy. Onwards they go now through Northmore.
On the line. On the line, 5. No.
So easy to get white line fever from this sort of range. Very, very close with that little surge. Elia has stopped.
And again, number 4.
One more effort. There they go. Finally found a way through.
Red captain. Okay.
And at the bottom of it all, the skipper, Tom Laude. How Quins needed
Just
that.
be careful, people who are
Yeah,
with
I
full
think
support
a lot of
outside.
shunt and
Number
grunt
4,
there.
number 8,
Great
number
to get
9.
over the end. I think you saw this Exeter Chiefs tap penalty that people are trying now. Every team seems to be adopting it. Rather than taking a scrum or kicking to the corner for a line out, just take a quick tap, keep the ball in tight, grind the defence down and get over the line. So great for Quins to get back into this game.
Thanks, David.
And hopefully 7 points after a kick from Brett Heron.
That policy, Danny, which we've seen so much more of, particularly this season, is that because ultimately the end game of the catch and drive usually looks something like that?
I think so, yeah.
So you're just kind of cutting short the process a little bit.
Exactly, unless you're Ulster and they're that good at at driving mauls, they would probably choose to go to the corner, but I think Quinn's there with Ulster, probably knowing that Ulster maybe have a little bit of dominance in the set piece. Before, let's keep it tight, let's grind them down and just keep the ball up the jumper, old school, get the points.
Precious
beautiful
points.
Rugby, beautiful rugby.
Wasn't it just? They'll be talking about it for years and years. Well, it was really important, wasn't it, from Harlequins' perspective, that they had something to show for their efforts, just to ask one or two difficult questions of Ulster, who've had most things their own way so far tonight. Harlequin doing his level best, but that's gone presumably forwards off his hands, so Quinn's here.
Use it, Quins!
Looking for territory from the boot of steel. In comes Lowry. Takes it nicely, and there's space in front of him. Lowry at high speed. Look at the gas on Mike Lowry. Into the corner. Lightning. Absolute lightning.
Yeah, maybe asked Danny to come in on this. I don't think I've ever ran that fast in my life.
Oh, wow. I think sometimes you've just got to sit back and applaud that. Firstly, the take, with some traffic coming, some big heavies coming to try and knock his head off. He has taken the ball and then just absolutely backed himself, shown a clean pair of wheels to Scott Steele, unfortunately, but brilliant try, great ambition, and just great backing yourself.
Yeah, it's an area of the game that probably a couple of years ago when Ulster asked Michael Lowry to play at fullback, he's worked really hard on, is just getting onto that high ball, and you can see him, his eyes for nothing except the ball, and when he lands, then it's what can he do, and pretty special is the answer.
Remarkable. I mean, the acceleration was the thing, wasn't it? It was one thing to claim the ball and work through quite a small space, but then the gas. Wow.
Cheslin Colby-esque, wasn't it? He's got the scrum at, and then he's got the gas as well. But yeah, I love it when you see a back three player go and command the ball and then just back themselves.
First miss of the night for Cooney, but Ulster responding to Quinn's try with their fourth of the night, and it was a special one. Scott Steele, who is no slouch, rinsed.
Yeah, I'd like to say I'd be able to tackle him, Ali, but no, he'd have made it look even easier, I think, on the pitch.
That was stunning.
We are inside.
29 points to 7.
Use it,
and of course with
back Quins.
Geordie Murphy in the bin as well. Every point whilst down a man seems extra special. Cooney with the clearance. So there had to be a little bit of a mindset shift, Rory, on account of competing in the Challenge Cup for so long. Obviously in the top flight of Europe, it means so much to the club as a whole. There'll be one or two players in the Ulster ranks who'll be, you know, a bit disgruntled that they're having to play it out in the second tier, but this represents an opportunity, I guess, to actually win some silverware.
Yeah, I think it massively does. I think they look at it as that opportunity to win something. I think I would have liked to have seen Ulster keep the core of their team with their senior players, but maybe introduce a couple of the younger academy guys to incorporate them, to come to somewhere like Harlequins, which is not an easy place to go and play well and win and see what they're about.
Quinn's looking to finish this half strong. Heron, nice show of the ball. Nathan Earl cut down by Burns. Steele looking to bring in Garcia Botta. Earl again, nicely inside from Hammond. Collin.
Okay, backwards.
Heron. Green. Wants to go around the outside of Hume. He's done a really good job of it as well, but then it's like that pass was just slightly forwards. Just saw a little glimpse of Tyrone Green's feet there as well. From literally no space at all. He just gets on the outside. Unfortunately, just throws it forward. But glimpses of the great footwork that Tyrone possesses.
Yeah, I think that was a pity because Harlequins were really building something there. They're getting a bit of joy coming back down the blind sides against Ulster. I think they're going to have to keep the pace in the game. That's where they're getting. That's where they're getting the real benefit. And as you say, Tyrone Green getting on the end there.
Crutch!
Jacob Stockdale.
Fine!
Just showing that he's multi-skilling on the flank in the absence of Geordie Murphy. Too many picks. McCluskey. Seconds or so of this first half remaining.
Use it, Red!
Cooney, it's gone really high. And it's been allowed to bounce. It's been picked up by Earl, but it's gone forwards from Quins. There'll be one last shot here for Ulster as we head to the break.
In front.
Good to see Nathan Earl back again. Danny, we know the talent that he has and the speed, the balance, the vision as well, but he needs a run of games, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He had a horrific injury 18 months ago now, got back from that, and then unfortunately did an ankle and was out for another 3 months. So brilliant to see Nathan back up and running. I think he possesses something a little bit different to the other wingers at Harlequins, but also at England. He has got out-and-out gas, but he has got absolute power as well. So yeah, it'd be great to see him get a run of games.
Fine!
Horrible injury, the ACL that took him out for the best part of a year, wasn't it? Someone who's been on the England radar at various different moments.
I can understand it was unstable, but please we go quickly, okay?
Argentina with England in 2017 when the Lions were on.
Yeah, that's the right one. Okay, no pre-engage. I was space
Towards South Africa as well with England in 2018, but still uncapped. Who knows what might be possible with a good spell injury-free and playing in a Quins outfit that's winning.
Exactly that. His fiancée is expecting a baby any minute soon as well, so hopefully he doesn't dash off the pitch. But yeah, I've been telling him to get his sleep in now because that is about to end.
Wise words. Said with feeling. Timony for Ulster beyond halfway. Clock in the red. And Billy Burns will take us to half-time. 40 minutes in which Ulster have been almost entirely dominant. Quins with 1 try through Tom Lauday. Ulster with 4. McCluskey, Cooney, Reedy, and best of the night, a really special effort from Michael Lowry. Fabulous acceleration. Something to take the breath away. Half-time at the Stoop. Harlequins 7, Ulster 29.